Hello and welcome to the Divorce Dream Team podcast. My name is Joie Comeiro.
And I'm Mark Comeiro.
And we help you assemble a dream team for your divorce before, during, and or after your divorce.
Because you can't do it alone.
No siree, Bob.
We know from experience.
So on today's episode, what we're going to do is we'll talk a little bit about us so you can get to know us and our stories and why we decided to start a whole divorce business. It's kind of a weird business to get into, isn't it? People say to us all the time, oh,
right.
Like it's sad.
They don't realize we're helping people.
We look at it as kind of we're helping people get on a better path.
Right.
We're not pro-divorce. We're not like, yay, go divorce. But for some people, it can lead to a better life for them and for their soon-to-be ex-spouse.
Right. It may not feel like that at the beginning or when you're going through it, but definitely afterwards.
Yeah. So if you're listening right now, you may be thinking about a divorce. You may be at the point where you're already going through the divorce or it's been decided. You could be through the thick of it, like the real shitty time where you're kind of all over the place and it's overwhelming and confusing. Or this could be post-divorce. Like Mark said, we know from experience because we are divorced, not from each other. We're married.
Of course.
We're both Comeiro.
Yes.
We're not brother and sister.
No.
So we've been through it and we decided to get into this business because we felt as though we could help people. So, but it wasn't, it kind of just happened that way. So for you, Mark, what made you want to get into this, to do this business?
Well, at one point in my life, I went through a divorce.
I know.
Right. That's right. You know. So yeah, at one point I went through a divorce. And then years later, retired from the military and I wanted to continue my education. So I decided to go to school and I was majoring in conflict resolution. So when I went through a divorce, I used mediation. I really didn't understand mediation. I just knew it was a cheaper alternative route than getting an attorney. And so I was going through school, went down a path where we were doing mediation, like small claims mediation.
Yeah, you're doing the small, you're at court.
Doing small claims. And I said, geez, this seems very similar to what I went through. I asked the question, can I be, a divorce mediator? And they said, absolutely.
Well, because was one of your professors a divorce mediator? Was that what it?
Yes.
If I'm remembering correctly.
You are correct.
Oh.
One of my professors was, and still is, a divorce mediator. And she was instrumental in kind of guiding me down that path.
And I remember when you were going through all those trainings and going through school, like a light bulb went off in my head because when he was going through this through his master's program, we were married at this point. I mean, this was
right.
Yeah, this wasn't too long ago. Like a light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, "Whoa!" Because I went through mediation as well. It was super confusing. I'm sure my mediator is a very nice person in real life, but she wasn't through my divorce. And not that she has to be, because she's not like going to hug me and give me a bowl of ice cream and a blanket. So I wasn't expecting her to be like my friend. But at the same time, I was hoping somebody could help walk me through the process and just make sure I understood everything. And I didn't at all. So when you said that, divorce mediation, I was like, oh, duh, we should do that. Right. Because with your new background, I felt like I could bring something to the table where I could really help people understand and, empathize.
Yeah.
I figured it would be like the perfect fit for us.
Right. And it is. And that's the whole point, right? So for us, we can mediate with sympathy and empathy, where a lot of people can't, or they choose not to.
Yeah. But So we're mediators and we're not attorneys, but what people don't know is that people can be mediators who are not attorneys, and attorneys can be mediators.
That's right.
And they are attorneys.
They wear two hats.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's confusing for people going, just this, the start of the divorce is, forget the paperwork, the stuff that you're reading, trying to get all your shit together, trying to make sure, like, all the things you're thinking, am I making a mistake? Are we ruining our lives? Are we ruining our kids' lives? Like, all that stuff's going through your head. That alone is enough. Like, there's fighting, maybe there's, depending on how bad it is, like, there's a lot going on. And then just even to begin the process, you don't even know, most people don't even know that you get to choose what path you go down for your divorce.
Right.
That there's choices.
There's a lot of choices.
Usually you think when you get divorced, somebody has to make the decision, and then you wake up one day and you go to an attorney, and then they serve papers to one person, like in the movies, and then the fighting just commences.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be like that.
It does not have to be like that.
No.
Nope. So, with mediation, right? What do we always say? What's the beauty of mediation?
Oh, you love that line.
I do love that line. But what is
You say it to every client.
Right? The beauty of mediation is that both parties, both people, the couple, right, soon to be ex-spouses, they can work together with a mediator, or two mediators.
Yeah.
They can work with us. That I feel, the clients that we worked with or still working with love the fact that the two of us mediate together.
Yeah.
Right.
But your point is there's a lot of options.
There's a lot of options.
It's not just one. It's not just hire an attorney, although this isn't a commercial for mediation either. So, because we're here to genuinely help people.
Yeah.
So not everybody can go with mediation too. It doesn't work for everybody.
It does.
It can. Most people who say mediation didn't work for them, they didn't work for the mediation.
That's right.
There's a big difference.
That's true.
So everybody can use a mediator. They just choose not to. So a lot of times people will call us and say, can I use mediation? And one of the first questions we ask is your spouse on board with this? If they say no, well then no. Because with mediation, you have to work with the couple. We don't work with one person.
Right.
So just to clarify, if somebody's looking into this, if you're looking for an attorney, basically the attorneys fight with each other for you. If you want to go that route, you need an attorney. Your spouse needs an attorney, and then they fight. If you want to go through mediation, you both have to work with the mediator. That's the difference. But like I said, my mediator was an attorney. Your mediator was an attorney too.
That's correct.
But I didn't know I could go to they say non-attorney mediator. I didn't know that was an option.
Me neither.
I might have done that, actually, thinking back.
Yeah.
I thought it was the law that I had to go to an attorney. Didn't you? Did you know?
I had no clue.
Yeah, right?
I had no clue. We had a family friend who said they could do it.
Right.
And they mediated, but they were an attorney.
And they knew,
So
they knew one person.
Exactly.
So that's the other thing too. I went to somebody who knew the other person.
And I went to someone who knew the other person.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah.
So it makes you wonder. And I had until having our business and learning everything that we've learned.
Yeah.
I don't know that I even read my agreement, to be honest with you. I didn't know how to read it, and it was never read to me. Did you read your agreement?
I did not read my agreement because now as you're talking, I'm like, wait a minute. I remember sitting at the table, and I remember signing everything. I had, I have two kids, but they were younger at the time, and child support was out there, and I just remember that was the big thing, right?
Yeah.
So no, I was looking at numbers, not what the agreement said.
Never explained to me.
I know. Yeah, it's
So
this is weird. Just so you know, like sitting here, talking about it because we never really talk about it.
it's like
We don't.
eye-opening.
It's eye opening because we don't talk about our process. We talk about how we can help somebody and take them through their process. Because let's face it, this is such a shitty situation to go through, right? It is that you should want your hand held
No
at this
shit.
process.
Yeah.
You should,
Yeah.
right? I didn't think of that.
So when you're a customer at a restaurant, right?
Here comes one of Joey's analogies. Okay.
Say you're a customer at a restaurant, you want to be treated a certain way, right? So when you become a server or a bartender or something like that, you almost just need to put yourself in the customer's shoes. Like, how do I want to be treated? And that's what I'm going to do. Like, that's how I'm going to treat my customers, is the way I want to be treated, right? I guess that's true. I shouldn't say in a restaurant. Could be anywhere.
Could be anywhere.
But that's what I think of all of our clients. Like, how would I want to be treated? Or knowing now what I know now. I didn't know then. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So I sat in that office and I didn't know anything. And I thought that that's the way it should be. And it's fine. I mean, it worked out fine. I'm not saying like some things maybe didn't, some things maybe did. But at the time, I didn't know what I didn't know. I thought it was all normal. I thought she was only telling us what we needed to know. And then when I never read the agreement, and then when I went to court, was never coached to what that looks like. It was just very blind, going into everything so blindly. And when you don't know something, the fear of the unknown is constant.
Right.
So you're always scared.
Even the point of going to the courthouse.
It's scary.
So,
and I don't think but we're in Massachusetts, by the way.
Right.
Every state is completely different. So we don't want to scare anybody who's not done it yet. And you're in a state that you don't have to go to court. Not every state has to go to court. So you have to check with your state.
We did. And we're not to scare anybody.
I think there's a level of, I wish someone scared me a little bit. I wish somebody not scared me to the point where I didn't want to do it, but enough that like set some expectations to be like, when you walk in that courtroom, you stand in front of a judge, in front of a crowd of people. It's public.
We were not told that.
You didn't, Yost didn't tell you.
We did not. We were not told that. That was crazy when we walked in that courtroom and sat down. Open, and there was a ton of people, and they call your name, and we walked up there, and I was like, everyone's going to hear us?
They hear every word. And the reason why I was freaking out was because before I went up, I was listening to everybody else's.
Yeah.
And I felt there was a couple there, and they were talking about like, I don't even remember what it was, but I just felt so bad for them because I could hear their private shit.
Yeah. We were the first one to call up.
Oh.
So
you, did you leave? I don't remember if we left right after.
We left right afterwards, yeah.
Oh, so you, yeah.
Yeah, but we were the first ones.
No, we had to wait a while.
But
that would have scared me if I knew I had to do that, but at least I would know.
Yeah.
I felt awful in front of all those people. I was so embarrassed. Like,
I was embarrassed too.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like,
shouldn't be embarrassed,
no,
I guess, but
but again, this leads us back to, why do we get into this? Why do we do this?
That's
right?
That's what
because it's the process, and we went through the process. We didn't have the greatest experience in our processes going through it. Not saying that you're going to have a great experience anyway.
Never.
Again, back to hand-holding. Yes, accept it, right? Especially have two people that have been through it.
Yeah. And again, this isn't a commercial for me.
No, it's not. We're just telling you who we are.
And why we did it.
And what kind of brought us to this point.
And that's why in our business, over the years, we added on a coaching aspect to it, which I don't know if I love. I don't love the word coaching because it's so played, like, but it is a coaching where we're coaching our clients through the whole process too. We're neutral. If you're in mediation, your mediator has to be neutral. can't be on one side or the other side. So we're always neutral, but there's a level of coaching too that goes along with that. If a couple comes to us and we can't help them, or one person decides mediation isn't for them, at that point, we can help coach one person through the whole process.
That's right.
I have had so many people that are divorced that have said, I wish I knew about you guys before my divorce. All the time, I get that. Because whether it's mediation or coaching.
Yeah. We get a lot of phone calls or emails or text messages after the fact that will say, thank you so much. You know, I think because we make it a little more personal, right, with them.
Then we coach
them, right?
Yeah, well, we spend a lot of time.
We do spend a lot of time with our clients.
So they get to know us, we get to know them.
Yes. So between the mediation, the coaching.
Yeah.
Right,
we just want to help people.
Yeah. The other thing, too, that we didn't talk about, we were talking about, you know, couples if they wanted to get an attorney, how they would each have to get an attorney, which they would. But we have a lot of divorce attorneys that are mediator friendly.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
We always say we're not pro-divorce.
Right.
We're not anti-attorney.
Right.
We're like none of these things. We're honestly very neutral because we have a lot of friends and they're mentors of us that are attorneys.
Yes, and that's why it's important to build a team. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
We're here to help build a dream team.
Right.
And we say dream team in a sense like, you know, it takes a village. You need to put a team together. We have the resources, right? We have us, obviously, but we have the resources to help you put that team together.
And that's a good point because I just thought of this. That's why people say, I wish I knew about you before my divorce.
Right.
Because we help people put together a team.
Yes.
That's true. Okay. That makes sense then. It's not just our winning personalities.
I mean, that's a big
they like, you know.
No, it is. It's the team that we put together.
Yeah, it's the team.
Them. We do it with them. That's the other thing too, right? This whole process is we're doing it with you. We're not doing it for you.
No.
You know,
we can't.
We
can't. We're not attorneys.
Nope. But
which, by the way, we're not giving any legal advice.
None.
These are just our opinions. We can give legal information, and that's usually backed up by websites to look up the information themselves or resources that they can read themselves.
Right.
But we can't tell you what to do with that information.
Right.
And that is tough for some people. We've had clients where they're like, I want you to tell me what to do. And we say we absolutely cannot.
We can't. But you have the right to get an attorney or have an attorney. You can talk to an attorney.
You
can hire an attorney. You can,
you can work. That's the other thing people don't realize. You can hire an attorney and still work with a mediator.
Yep.
Some people don't realize that. Everyone thinks it's like all or nothing. I would have thought that.
Right.
To be honest with you.
Uh-oh.
I didn't know that the attorney that we were using was mediating.
Oh, that's fair.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought we just went to an attorney.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, we went to an attorney. Perfect. They know what they're talking about. They're going to tell us what to do. But what I didn't know that I know now is when an attorney is acting as a mediator, they can't give you legal advice either.
Right.
So she was just acting as a mediator, but never said that. So I thought, oh, we're in good hands. We're with an attorney. Had I known all this, so when we're talking to clients and they're like come in for a consultation, I know I always say to everybody initially is go with who you feel comfortable with, meaning like do your homework, talk to them. Okay, do they have experience? Does it seem like they know what they're talking about? But at the same time, do I feel comfortable with this person? Right? Like,
yeah.
Well, that's why when we talk to clients, we try to over-explain the process because we shouldn't assume that they have any idea.
Yes. Yeah. That's one thing.
Which they don't.
We over-communicate.
We do.
But that's not a bad thing. It's not a negative.
But there are so many attorneys that are such good people.
Yep.
And there are so many attorneys that are just money grubbing dickheads.
Okay. I didn't see that coming.
Right, though?
Yes, there are. There's some attorneys out there that, well,
or they're just not nice and they don't care and they just are in it for the fight, and they'll tell you things that you want to hear. Like we have clients that called up an attorney and they're like, my attorney said I'm going to be able to get XYZ. I was like, okay, well, did your attorney hear like everything that's going on? Well, not everything. Okay, well, they're just telling you they're just telling you whatever you want to hear.
Yes.
Are they looking out for you? Like, do you know their experience?
Yeah, I don't know if, again, I'm not bashing on attorneys.
No.
I just think for some, it might be that win or lose thing, win or lose attitude. I want to win.
Right.
Right. And I want to win for my client, and I want to win when there's no winner.
I was just going to say, that's a thing.
There's no winner in divorce.
Win?
Right.
It's literally a lose-lose situation.
Right. It's just...
There's no win-win ever.
There's no win.
There's no winner or loser, and there's no win-win. It's a lose-lose.
No. Then you throw children in the mix. That's a whole nother story, whole other topic.
Yeah. But you don't have to... when we say lose-lose, it just means, when I say that, it doesn't mean like the whole thing is a loss, because you can't... a lot of people look back and be like, okay, that was just a different chapter in my life. A lot of good things came out of that chapter in my life. Now it's time to move on. So it's not like that was a loss, right? It's not like a divorce doesn't mean it's a failure.
No.
It just means that, something new is coming up and that it's a new chapter in your life. So no, I don't mean that. When you say lose-lose, it just means you're not going to, like, there's no, like, it's not like the movies where, like, one person is awarded $18 trillion and then the other person lives in a gutter. Like, that's just not how it works.
Right. Yep.
So it's like a lose-lose, meaning there's going to be a give and take on either side.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It is.
Our hope with mediation is that you walk away and you're like, nah, I mean, I gave up some things, but I got some things. So, I feel okay.
Yeah.
Right? Is that a shitty...
No, it's okay. It's
Come to us. We'll make you feel okay.
I think it's important to know what mediation is and know that it's voluntary, right? It's completely voluntary,
And sometimes they have at court.
Yeah.
Or the court tells you that you have to go to a mediator and they appoint one for you.
Right.
We're a private practice.
We're a private practice, yeah.
So that's different.
Yeah, it's a completely confidential process when you work on mediators. And what I like about it too, we use the words self-determination, right? So when you get to work with the mediators and your soon-to-be ex, right? You're working together to put your agreement together, your plan. How are you going to move forward? How are you going to live your life out? If you have kids, how are you going to co-parent? Like you have all these different
items
that you got to figure out, but you're doing it together. So you're not, you don't have to just walk into a courtroom and let a judge decide for you.
Why would anybody want to do that?
I know.
That's the craziest part, though.
But some people would want that because they don't want to have to try and deal with it. Because some of the topics are tough to discuss or get through, or someone's feeling like, well, I don't want to. What is it? What do they always say? I don't want to hurt the other person. I don't want to.
Oh, every single client says to us, I'm not here to, screw over the other person. They always say that.
Yeah.
But we're like, that's not what we're here to think. Tell us what you want.
Yeah, we're not judging. We're not judging you.
Tell us what you want, because we're there as that neutral third party to, you're coming up with your agreement, and we're there to kind of give some creative ideas, various creative ideas. We might say like what peers do, like what other people do in this situation.
Yep.
We just kind of, help you with your thought process, like kind of thought-provoking questions.
Yep.
So you can think about it, but you make the ultimate decision and we basically write it down.
That's it. Right.
We're not the author of your story. You are.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah. But we help with like creative ways to explain it maybe.
Yep.
Or, and we help kind of with that resolution.
Right. And we have attorneys that work with us.
Yeah.
So.
And that's not all mediators though. So that's again, like state by state, it's completely
state by
different.
State different. But for us, we're in Massachusetts and we have attorneys that work with us. So, they're reviewing everything that you put down, you agree to, we drafted up, they're reviewing it, so.
But I think the biggest thing is going through a divorce absolutely sucks, even for the people who are amicable.
Yep.
We've had many clients that come in that are amicable and they're getting along, and it's almost inevitable that there's something. There's a trigger word. There's a trigger subject. Something sparks up that very uncomfortable conversation no matter what. It's always like that. And not everybody reacts the same way. Some people get angry. Some people cry. Some people just don't say anything. Or some people, they talk it out and get over it really fast. But it's even the most amicable people have a hard time through a divorce.
It's an emotional process.
You can't take the emotion out. I took it right out.
I was setting myself up for that. Oh my God.
I stole it.
But
he says it all the time.
But it's true. You can't take the emotion out of it. It's an emotional thing. It's an emotional process. And you can't be afraid to hide your emotions.
No, because then you won't ever move on. And
we don't let people act on emotions either. We don't let them make decisions on emotions.
No.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah. I feel like that could be a whole other episode.
There's so many things we've talked about that could be other episodes. And you know what? Spoiler alert, I think there will be.
Right. But the bottom line is we've each been through a divorce. We understand it.
Both have kids.
We both have kids. So we've lived the whole parenting plan situation. We've lived the whole raising kids, separate households. We've done it all.
We have.
And so that's why we feel drawn to help people through this. And that's why we started Comeiro Mediation and the coaching side of it too. And now to make things a little bit easier, we'll have an app that people can log into and we'll help them through, videos that can help them. They can read, there'll be downloads, all kinds of things.
I'm excited for the app.
Yeah.
I really am.
Right. Because that's an additional tool.
That's right.
And it's really important to us with our mediation practice that we build a team and that we always reach out and say, do you have a therapist? Do you have a mortgage specialist? Do you have a financial advisor? Do you have these? No one's thinking this stuff.
Right.
But these are decisions that affect the rest of your life. So you can't just go through it the way we did, where you just sit down with somebody and they tell you what to do and they write it up and you sign it.
What were we thinking? I just took the words out of you.
And why did we? And isn't that funny that we had similar experiences?
Yeah.
I think that's why when you went back to school, the light bulb went off. We were like, wow, we could both help people.
I know.
But I'm glad we do it.
Same.
It's not easy.
No.
Because it's not easy watching people go through a really tough time. People who come to us, I think, typically know that we have a sense of humor. We don't make fun of people's situation ever, but we definitely do try to joke around a little bit, lighten the mood every once in a while, let it get serious when it's going to get serious. But also, listen, sometimes if you don't laugh, you're going to just keep crying.
Right.
So we try to uplift.
We do.
If you will.
Professional, personal.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for today.
I do too.
I don't know I hope that people reach out to us. If listeners want to, we have ComeiroMediation.com, COMEIRO.com. That's a big difference. EI.
Right. A lot of people mix that up.
Yeah. Comeiro Mediation.
COMEIRO.
You can hit the contact button and you can reach out to us. And
Awesome. Thanks, Joey.
thanks, Mark.
Well, how about you land this plane and take us home?
Okay. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for listening, and we will see you next time on the Divorce Dream Team. Thank you.
Bye.